City News is brought to you by East Brewster Lawyers Rotorua, celebrating 100 years of legal excellence and innovation.
Good evening, Rotorua. Tonight on City News. Stakeholders and community groups are invited to a homelessness forum at RDC. There's still time to taste the culture of Cuba at the Cuba Festival event at the night market. And local NASCAR racer Hayden Peterson is holding a fundraising auction at the Mount on Thursday. The RDC is holding a forum this week to discuss the issue of homelessness in Rotorua. RDC Night Shelter Coordinator Amy Duckett says the Rotorua Community Night Shelter Trust is hosting the forum to identify the level and scope of homelessness and discuss solutions to any problems. Mrs. Duckett says the forum will help establish what services are currently being provided in the community and identify any gaps in services and determine how they can be filled. Anyone in the community working with the homeless who would like to know more about the forum should contact the Rotorua Community Night Shelter Trust Chairperson Barney Jewell or Amy Duckett at RDC. The flavour of Cuba is around the city this week as the city hosts the New Zealand Cuban Festival. Events have been taking place at the City Focus with the night market on Thursday promoted as a highlight for the community.
Oh, that's going to be rocking because all the artists from overseas come. So we've got 5 Cubans coming, and then we've got the Australian teams coming in, which is a Contra. We've got Cuban Groove here from New Zealand, and again ourselves here in Rotorua.
And I find it really interesting that you've got Cubans, Indigenous people on the trust. So you're actually getting real people in there to help you organise this sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. So that again, it's a unique sort of movement for here for Aotearoa and as well as us. We need to be guided by them. It's their culture, so we cannot claim it whatsoever.
And if you missed one of the cutest events at the weekend, don't fret as we have some of the highlights from Saturday's Teddy Bears Picnic.
Right, little buddy rabbit, here we go.
Classic hits. Move on, sleepyhead. Scratchy. Find some theory. Bright as gold and red as cherry.
And the Union Jack. Nice to meet you. Hello, mate. What's your name?
Hang on. His
name is Xavier.
XCB, okay.
Lauren and Cadbury. Lauren, are you here? Lauren? Yes? That's a yes, is it? Yes, it is. Okay. Here we go. All right. Come on up. Here we go. Come on over here. Here's Lauren and Cadbury. Nice. All right. Okay. Well done.
We're down here at the Kiwanis Teddy Bears Picnic. What a day today. There is so much atmosphere.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, put your hands together for this Teddy here. Well done. Give me 5, mate. Yeah, congratulations. Great story behind this Teddy here as well, actually.
And the second annual Teddy Bears Picnic held on Saturday was organised by the Kiwanis Club of Rotorua. In sport tonight, local NASCAR driver Hayden Peterson is heading back to the States this week, but not after a last-minute fundraising on Thursday night. Hayden is the first ever Kiwi to race in the NASCAR series and this season hopes to better his placing. On Thursday, he's holding a fundraising auction in Mount Maunganui with guest speakers including world motocross champion Ben Townley and local movie star Timawera Morrison. For more information, find Hayden Peterson on Facebook. To your weather update now. Tonight will be fine with light winds and an overnight low of 10. Tomorrow, Wednesday, fine with light winds, a high of 24 and a low of 12. And looking out to Thursday, mainly fine with a shower or 2, light winds, a high of 26 and a low of 11. And the marine forecast for Lake Rotorua for Wednesday, southeast 10 knots developing in the morning with waves less than half a metre and looks nice and fine out on the lake. Remember, for program listings and to upload your videos or images, check out our website tvrotorua.co.nz, or you can head to our Facebook page. Still to come tonight on City News, we update plans for this year's Cancer Society Relay for Life fundraiser, and we meet one of the men in charge of the Air Force Band who performed in the city last week and get to hear some of their musical notes. That's all still ahead in tonight's show.
Well, the New Zealand Cancer Society is always looking for new ways to look after our kids, especially our school kids in the hot New Zealand sun. And today we're going to catch up with Sarah Fitzpatrick, and we're going to find out about the new initiative, about the new Sun Hat scheme. And then we're going to catch up with Alia Ryan and find out where the Relay for Life is at and find out how you can register your business. Well, thanks for joining us today, Sarah. Is this the first time that the Cancer Society Sun Smart grants team has been utilised here in Rotorua?
We've actually done it once before, about 10 years ago, so it's definitely time that we do it again, I think.
So what sort of resources are available to schools, Sarah?
Well, schools are able to apply for the Sun Smart resource that their school most needs, so we've got sun hats available, like these beautiful bucket hats.
I think they're fantastic, aren't they?
They are, they're great. So sun hats is one of the main things. We've also got shade structures, so anything from trees that'll kind of grow into big shade structures, pop-up marquees, permanent shade structures. It really depends on what the school needs, and we've been working with them to decide what's going to be the best thing for them.
So when you say trees, they dig up a whole plant of tree and, obviously use that for shade as it grows?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of like, I guess, the most permanent shade structure you can get, really.
Now, skin cancer is the most common cancer in New Zealand, so where did the initiative come from? Obviously because this is an important issue in our country.
Well, research is actually showing that skin cancer, a lot of the damage is caused in those early ages, so it's absolutely so important that children are protected and learn how to be sun smart right from the word go. And as they're at school for such a long period of the day, and during those really important sun smart hours of between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m, it's super important that schools get involved in showing children how to be responsible in the sun.
How many schools are involved here in our city?
In Rotorua, it's about 5 schools, primary schools, and in the Waikato Bay Plenty region we've had 25 schools so far receive grants for sun hats.
So how does the school apply? Do they need to just ring up the Cancer Society, or is there actually a funding application process?
There has been a funding application process, and that opened last year, and this is just the first round of applications from that process, and further on we'll be announcing the people who have received further grant applications for permanent shade structures and trees and other shade structures.
Is there any sort of accreditation that the schools can gain by joining the scheme?
Yes, absolutely. So as part of the grant scheme, one of the requirements is that a school becomes part of the Sun Smart Schools accreditation program, and this shows parents and other teachers and anyone who's coming into the school that the school is serious about teaching their students about sun safety, and they make that a high priority. So as part of the grant scheme, we've worked with any schools that aren't accredited to make sure they've got a sun safety policy that's kind of up to scratch, and so that includes things like making sure all the children are wearing sun hats, that they wear sunscreen when they go out to play, that there's a certain number of shade areas available, and if they get that all together, then we accredit them, and they get, among other things, they get a few shade trees, they get some undercover Cody resources, and they get assigned for their school so that it's made public that they are an accredited school.
How important is the role that parents and especially the teachers play, obviously with the kids at school?
Oh, it's critical. Children are really well known for mimicking the adults and other people around them, so if mum's not wearing a hat, they're not going to be wearing a hat, and same with the teachers. If we're telling the students to wear a hat and to wear sunscreen, the teachers have to be modelling the same behaviour.
Yeah, of course. Well, you guys do an awesome job, so we appreciate your time today, Sarah.
Thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate your time today, Alia. Now, the Cancer Society Relay for Life is only a few weeks away. How's the registrations going?
We're getting there slowly. There's definitely a lot of interest still out there from people, but we would love to see them actually register their teams online. That helps us as far as the organising and making sure everything's all booked in for them, and making sure they don't run out of space
Will that be an issue? Has that been an issue in previous years?
Absolutely. If we don't have the numbers there ready before we go, we can't see where everyone's going to sit. We can't make sure that all their tent spaces are appropriate for them, and it also makes it a little bit trickier as far as making sure we've got enough t-shirts ready and food for the breakfast, the most important part.
Now, I guess half the fun, Alia, of running around the track is also dressing up. So what sort of ideas have people come up with?
Oh, we've got a few. A lot of them are actually keeping it secret. I met with a few of the team captains last week, and they're not wanting to share too much of what they're doing yet. Scared people are going to steal their idea. I think we've had fairies in the past. We've had people all dressed in white, being white blood cells. There's all sorts of things they can do. And we're encouraging people not only to dress up themselves, but also their tent area as well. And there's going to be prizes on the day for those that go a little bit further afield and come up with something fun, as well as that environment for the actual relay. We're encouraging members of the public to come down and check out what the teams are doing too. So a lot of them will be having fundraising at their tent site. So some of them it'll be food bits, some of them it might be other crafts and things that they've made or activities for the kids. So there's definitely going to be lots for the public to come down and enjoy as well on Saturday afternoon and Sunday morning.
Have you guys got an idea of how much you were looking to raise?
I'd like to see 100 grand over the table on this one.
Yeah, think it's achievable?
I think it's definitely achievable. Rotorua is a very, very generous community. They always get in behind the events here, so once we're in it, we know we're going to do well.
Cool. Now, if there is people at home that are working for a business or have their own business and they want to join and take part of the Relay for Life, how can they get hold of you?
Easiest way is to jump on the website, which is www.relayforlife.org.nz. All the information's there, everything for registering your team or getting in touch with any of us for what you need.
And when exactly is it?
15th and 16th of March, so just a couple of weeks away.
A couple of weeks away. All right, Ali, appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Well, the Royal New Zealand Air Force has been travelling around the North Island last week, and when they came to Rotorua, we were lucky enough to catch up with them and come down to their practice session. Now, we're going to have a quick listen to them, and then we're going to talk with Flying Officer Simon Brew to find out a little bit more about their tour and a little bit more about the Air Force. Stay with us, we've got a great story for you. Thanks for joining us today, Simon. Now, obviously you're touring around with the Air Force Band, so how big is your tour and how long are you guys on the road for?
Right, so we're on tour for a week. So we started on Monday, driving up to Auckland, and 2 concerts in Auckland on Tuesday, and then Tauranga last night, and then tonight Rotorua, and then we finish off Hamilton and Taupo Friday and Saturday. So it's not too long, but covers a wide area. It's good.
Interesting job. You get to travel around the country and play instruments. I assume you play an instrument?
Yes, I play saxophone, and it's fantastic. I mean, playing music is great because you can play everywhere and travel around, and internationally as well, which is really great.
Internationally, so what does that involve?
So many of the musicians in the band actually play with groups or have played with groups, orchestras overseas, and myself included, and spent time studying in Europe or in America, and bringing that skill back into New Zealand, which is fantastic and obviously great for the Air Force Band.
Of course, yeah. There might be some of our viewers sitting at home going, why do we have an Air Force Band? So my question to you is then, why do we have an Air Force Band?
Right, so obviously we're in Wellington, the Air Force Band, and Wellington obviously welcomes a lot of dignitaries, royalty, prime ministers, and so the band is there on parade at Parliament or Government House, giving sort of a ceremonial aspect to the occasion and welcoming important people.
Wow, have you been involved with any of that so far yourself?
So I've only been in for nearly a year, so not so many for myself, but certainly prime ministers and different chiefs of defence from foreign countries. Yeah.
Do you actually get to meet them yourself though?
Not in a personal sense, what happens is they come along and they're given a welcome, and they'll come across to the band, and then I'll show them across the band, and I'll do a little inspection, and when they're happy they'll thank me very much and walk off. So it's all very formal, so not a lot of chit chat sometimes.
So you're playing here in Rotorua tonight, and we're going to come along and watch you guys practice.
That's right.
How big's your band?
So there's 66 in the band on this tour, so quite a large band. So it's a very big, impressive sound, and so we've chosen repertoire which really takes advantage of the size of the band. So big classic stuff, things from Star Wars, Skyfall, James Bond movie, things like that. So lots of tunes people know, and the power of the band is really good for that. Yeah.
Now last year the Navy Band toured Rotorua, and we went down and had a chat with a couple of those guys down there. Now they had a TV montage of about 8 or 9 different programs, and we're sitting in the back there just listening, trying to pick the different songs. So do you guys do things like that as well?
Yep, so that's we start off 20th Century Fox, and then we go into Indiana Jones, Skyfall, The Godfather, Game of Thrones, so we have a whole collection of those sorts of things, and plus also some classical music and things like that. It's really, really great.
Yeah. Once you finish here in Rotorua, where are you guys heading off to next?
So tomorrow we head to Hamilton, and we do a concert with Dame Malvina Major and Jeff Sewell in their Summer Sounds Spectacular Concerts, which was great. We did one already in New Plymouth earlier, and it's really great for the band to be playing with someone like Dame Malvina. I mean, she's an icon of music in New Zealand. She's a great lady, great singer. So we're doing a couple of numbers with her, which we're really looking forward to. So cool. Hamilton and Talbot.
And then that's pretty much it for the week.
That'll be it. And we'll head home Sunday, and everyone can get some rest. I think it'll be good.
Now we're just going to go off topic a little bit. Again. We'll just give a plug to the RNZAF. What did you join, and have you enjoyed your career so far?
Yeah, no, having a great time. So I started up last year. Why did I join? The job came up. I had played in the band as a territorial musician when I was a student at university, and when I was there, I was like, I always wanted to be up the front, with the baton and leading the band. So when the opportunity came, I applied, and very fortunate that I got the job. There was a lot of applicants internationally, so off to training, and then here I am.
Tough training?
I liked it, actually. Yeah, everyone was quite surprised, but I had a great time.
Because I know, obviously, being an ex-PTI, your fitness levels have to be fairly high.
That's right.
But as of late, in the last couple of years, it's not so much. But what about for the officers coming through?
I've got nothing really to compare it to. But I mean, it's actually, for me, someone who's been working for the last 10 years, going back and doing that training, it's a great time. It's like time out. It's re-energize the body, get into it. So I actually found the PT quite fun. I was quite surprised.
That's good. So obviously the PTIs like you?
I don't know. You have to ask them.
All right, Simon, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Great, thank you. me to do a little bit?
That was the Air Force Band at rehearsal for last week's show at the Civic Theatre. If you have a news event that we can support, give the office a call on 07 3488 984 or you can email news@tv.rotorua.co.nz. Thanks for joining us tonight. From all the team at City News, Paul Maria.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
City News was brought to you by East Brewster Lawyers Rotorua, celebrating 100 years of legal excellence and innovation.